Alrighty. Good folks. Well, here we are. Welcome to another Mikey Live program. I'm your host, Mikey Hutchinson, and we'll be here for a short period. Of course, on Fridays, if today is in fact Friday, it's been to me Sunday for the past 5 days. So if today is in fact Friday, happy Friday to you. And on Fridays, we try to not keep you too long, we try to keep it. All right, so folks, welcome to tonight's program, and we have so many things to discuss. All right, so many. Grenada has recorded 2 more cases of the COVID-19. We'll talk about that. All right, 2 of the COVID-19 cases are now in the intensive care unit. All right, violation of the social distancing puts all at risk. And Liat to suspend the regular service for 2 weeks. And Vice Cartel loses appeal against murder conviction. And the 24-hour curfew temporarily lifted, but creates chaos in the process in St. Lucia. We'll tell you more about that. All right. In 24 hours, police arrested 44 persons. 44 persons, and listen for what? Violating the curfew. Police say that no one is yet charged for Grenada's latest homicide, and investigations into video threat continues as men in custody are released. So we have all these and more to tell you about when we return on tonight's Mikey Live, folks. Yeah, brace all yourself. It could be something in all the share the business. For those of you who have not yet done so, go ahead and share the business. We'll be back. Remember, the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Digicel and Nawasa.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Are you looking to rent chairs and tables? Then call Waggy T Rentals. We rent tables and chairs for any event. We have 7 different types of chairs: plastic, folding chairs, gray and white, resin white chairs, conference chairs, even Shivari chairs in gold and white. We also rent 6 feet and 8 feet rectangular folding tables, 4 feet and 5 feet round tables, and even cocktail tables. Give us a call at 444-RENT. That's 444-7368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Granite, St. George.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes. COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Alrighty, folks, and this is it right here. Welcome, welcome, welcome once more. I hope that you're doing good. I hope that your family is okay, and of course, that you're ready for the weekend. You're ready for another Sunday that is another day other than Sunday, which is Saturday. All right. Alrighty, folks. So here we are, and the following is what we have for you so far. Now, in the midst of dealing with his domestic responsibilities relative to the impact of the COVID-19, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, is maintaining his regional and international responsibilities. And on Friday, he chaired a special meeting of the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB. Now, although the Prime Minister has not been very visible in recent weeks, according to this press release, he has been working steadfastly on refining the economic stimulus package, they say, announced in March, and holding discussions with regional and international financial institutions as Grenada seeks to cope with the economic impact of the pandemic. All right, we have posted this on our website, so you can check it out there if you desirous of getting more information as it relates to this. Now, folks, here's this piece right now. Today, the the Minister for Health, Nicholas Steele, announced that Grenada recorded 2 additional confirmed laboratory cases on the island. 2 additional cases. Brings in number to 12. Confirmed the cases so far in Grenada, but we have 11 on island, obviously, because one of the persons who was confirmed left the island. The minister made the announcement today via an address to the nation.
Good day. As Grenada's Minister of Health, today, Friday 3rd, 2020, I announced that 2 more laboratory confirmed cases of COVID-19 on mainland Grenada have been diagnosed. This brings our total confirmed cases of COVID-19 to 12. However, there are only 11 cases here on island, since 1 left. The first new individual is a 73-year-old male who had arrived in Grenada from the United Kingdom with his wife, who is one of the previously tested positive for the virus. The couple had sat within the 6-foot radius of our first case on that March 16th UK flight. The husband became symptomatic on the 31st of March and was tested on April 1st. He has been quarantined since his wife was tested and is being monitored closely. The second individual is a 70-year-old male taxi driver who had interacted with a previously diagnosed case before that case was tested. He was found on March 27th through contact tracing by health officials and placed under quarantine. He started exhibiting symptoms consistent with those of COVID-19 and was subsequently tested on April 1st. I want to reassure the healthcare officials that healthcare officials have been aggressively engaged in contact tracing, especially of individuals who arrived in Grenada during March 16th to 22nd. We have found that most of our cases so far arrived in Grenada or are linked to someone who arrived in Grenada
during that period, says the minister. Now, in his address, he also confirmed that 2 of the diagnosed cases are actually in intensive care.
Both cases announced today are stable and exhibiting mild to moderate symptoms. However, I must add that 2 of our previously announced cases are now in the ICU, having developed complications from pneumonia. They are in stable condition, though. In terms of testing, 45 people in total have been tested. 12 people have tested positive to date, and there are 4 results pending. All cases have been reported to the World Health Organization and the Pan American Health Organization.
All right, and that's Health Minister Nicholas Steele. Again, the conversation came up today about social distancing. Now, in the past day, well, from about 8 o'clock, well, even before that, shops, supermarkets, gas stations, some areas, teller machines, long lines, flooded with people. And it created a major concern for a lot. They're saying that, hey, this is also putting you at risk. And today, the minister also spoke about that. People, if you see the lines today, that too we have posted on our page. If you see the lines today, crazy lines, where people are waiting to their turn to go into the supermarkets and so on. In many cases, no adherence to the social distancing recommendation, which puts them and their family at risk.
I cannot say it enough. The curfew is in place for a reason, to help us curb the spread of this deadly disease and save lives. While we have allowed limited grocery shopping and other access to services, we continue to see serious breaches of social distancing and the curfew in general. While law enforcement has been quite active and have made several arrests so far, the law breaking is enough to infect an entire nation and possibly cost lives. Every time you allow someone into your vehicle, every time you leave your house, every time you allow someone into your house, your life is in danger. Our lives are all in danger. Every time you stand in line at a grocery store and do not comply with the 6-foot social distancing guideline, your life is in danger. Please remember, anyone can have and spread the disease, even if they do not have any visible symptoms.
That's right. All right, so even if persons are not displaying any visible symptoms, they can also have that disease. All right, on another note though, just off the Corona Direct for a while, let's just move on to something different. Now, Liat, all right, sent out information. They say that they will be suspending all passenger services for the next 14 days, and that's due to the impact of the COVID-19. The airline will only operate charters and cargo flights during this period. Now, the Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Julie Reefer-Jones, explained that the imposition of travel bans and border closures had grounded regional travel to a halt. You understand? You see that we tried to maintain a limited schedule. However, the present conditions make this impossible. Now, as a result, the company has implemented a temporary suspension of passenger services for from April 4th, which is tomorrow, for a period of 14 days in the first instance. Now, the suspension will be reviewed after the first 14 days. The airline has issued a travel advisory for all affected passengers. Passengers booked during the period of suspension will automatically have their bookings cancelled and will receive full credit. Passengers will be able to rebook as soon as the airline resumes passenger services. Yo, that's tough. And they are also acknowledging that this was an extremely challenging time for the airline. you know, even for its employees and other stakeholders. You know, so I guess a lot of persons, more persons will be stuck. Yeah. I tell you, this thing is crazy, man. This thing is crazy. And more you're hearing of the impacts of this. Popular dancehall artist Vice Cartel has lost his appeal against his murder conviction. After a near 2-year waiting, the Court of Appeal this morning handed down a judgment affirming the murder conviction of the popular entertainer. You're going to jail! You ain't getting away from this one. Back to some COVID-19 news right now, you know. I don't want to keep it too hard on you, know, get off it a bit. So here's what. Back now onto the police here in Grenada. Police are saying that in 24 hours, 44 persons were arrested for violating the curfew. Imagine that, you know. 44 persons. And that's more than they have done in previous periods.
From 6 a.m. yesterday morning to 6 a.m. this morning, we have charged 44 persons for violating the curfew. 39 of those persons were arrested, and the different parishes are as follows: 26 from St. George, 10 from the Eastern, which includes St. David's and St. Andrews, and 3 from the Western, which include Guave, Sautez, and Victoria. 5 of the numbers are from the sister island of Carriacou. They are going to be taken to court by summon. They were not arrested. So to reiterate the figures, 44 persons were charged for violating the curfew. 39 of those were arrested, and 5 will be taken to court by summons.
Thank you very much, sir. Would you imagine that? Well, what they are saying is that they have been using the drone technology to help them enforce the curfew. And to a great extent, the drone technology has helped them to make some arrests.
I did say that the increase was largely due to the employment of the drone technology, which now allows us wider capabilities to enforce the regulation. 2 days ago, I did inform the media that we are engaging or employing drone capabilities to assist us in our fight in this particular time. We have done so, and it was as a result of employing that technology we've been able to increase the number of arrests that I am now reporting this morning. I indicated in a program last night that we may not be everywhere at every time, but we have the capability now of sitting in the office and having the eyes in the sky to see you where you think you can hide. And that has been largely responsible for us increasing the number of arrests.
Cartel, you want to take over my program or chill out now, man? Come out and scream. Okay, so we're going back now. The investigation into the latest homicide here in Grenada is still ongoing. According to police, though persons have been arrested, no one yet has been charged for that homicide. But they're saying they're doing their due diligence. All right, and once they are confident that those who are in custody are responsible for his death, then a charge will follow. I know that time is running out for them to make a charge, or else they'll have to release these suspects. Okay, now folks, as it relates to the video now, yesterday police said that they had 3 persons assisting them with the investigations into that incident where there's somebody on a video threatening the life of the Prime Minister and the life of police officers, and then later on he came and he apologized and said he was sorry, he was just angry, and so, and da. So while the police are continuing their investigations, today we were told that the persons who were arrested and being investigated for some sort of relationship or link to that video have all been released.
All 3 persons have been released. We are continuing our investigations, There are quite a few dimensions to this particular investigation. We are in communication with the Office of the Director of Prosecution, and we will await directive on this. Again, we'll update you as to where this investigation goes as we proceed.
All right, thank you very much. Why are y'all just trying to jump the gun on me? Take all the time. Yes, so that's the latest information that we have regarding that. Now, what I find consistent is that some of the things that we experience here in Grenada, there are other Caribbean islands who are experiencing the same thing. And so let me tell you what happened, all right? Persons were asked to stay home in St. Lucia, similar to the way we were asked to stay home. However, in a flash, there was a relaxing of that ban in St. Lucia. And what happened? According to a report there, according to a report there, it caused chaos, putting people's lives at risk, similar to the way it has happened here. People went out in the streets, people. They went out in the streets and they were attempting to make their purchases. They were attempting to do this and do that and do this and do that. And so what happened? Everybody ended up in a cluster. You understand? They ended up in a cluster, and the same concern that we had here. That in clustering, you are putting yourself at risk and the people that you leave home, your loved ones, you're putting them at risk as well. So don't think what we are experiencing here is in any way limited to Grenada, because clearly it isn't. Clearly it isn't. So we're going to join a report from St. Lucia that speaks exactly about this, and we partner doing that report, and so take all the time we partner, tell you, we partner, let's do some good things.
American journalist and historian Henry Adams, member of the Adams political family, descended from 2 U.S. presidents. In his book, The Education of Henry Adams said, "Chaos was the law of nature. Order was the dream of man." The date is Thursday, April 2nd. More and more St. Lucians woke up to the news revealed on the Prime Minister's Facebook page at 1 minute to midnight the night before. On Thursday, April 2nd and Monday the 6th, allowances are made for the following to remain open: mini-marts and community shops 6 a.m. to 12 noon, bakeries 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. Farmers as well are allowed to maintain their farms daily from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. 6 service stations, 2 in VA4 and 1 each in Castries, Soufrière, Micoud and Gros-Islet, will remain open from 6 a.m. to noon for essential service providers and individuals with passes from NEMO. The Prime Minister's announcement, while being slammed for the late and some have argued unofficial way it was presented, has been praised as well for providing relief to individuals who were otherwise caught off guard by Tuesday night's announcement of a 24-hour curfew effective 5 a.m. Wednesday, April 1st. On the political front, it is being put forward that the government made a knee-jerk reaction, attempting to save face in light of criticisms that the lockdown was made during curfew hours, making it impossible for a larger cross-section of the population to have readied themselves. Others argue that government had taken note of the numerous concerns expressed by the public. Whatever the Prime Minister's rationale might have been, it is argued that temporarily lifting the curfew may have done more harm than good. The Prime Minister's near midnight Facebook post ended with a reminder to the public to practice social distancing, especially when in community shops. Here's the order, a la Henry Adams. But with that order came the chaos. Not long after a large section of lockdown St. Lucia awakened Thursday morning, realizing that they were granted some freedom, images, both still and video, began their mandatory social media rounds. In Castries, Soufrière, Gros-Islet, all over the island, wherever mini-marts, community shops and bakeries opened their doors, lines of St. Lucians. But while some observers have expressed concern about the numbers, others have said the numbers are expected. What's worrying, they say, is the apparent disregard for the social and physical distancing protocol as recommended by health officials. The still and video images showed in many cases a less than 3-foot distance between individuals queued up to enter the respective establishments. In some cases, patrons were, as one observer put it, all up in each other's faces, some arguing, others offering physical greetings. A recipe for disaster, some say, concerned that not many were wearing masks or other protective gear. There is concern of further community spread, whereby tightening the strain on an already crippled healthcare system. Some observed, despite the police presence at some of the scenes, there was hardly any intervention to ensure that patrons observed the social distancing practices. In addition, NBC Prime has learned that samples are being sent to CARFA once again for testing, as St. Lucia has run out of testing regions. The implication? A delay in results as opposed to the immediate results with in-country testing. Others saw it coming. Former Cabinet Minister Dr. Jimmy Fletcher, for example, told NBC Prime Wednesday that the Prime Minister's 24-hour curfew order was the wrong implementation of the right idea. At 7:29 a.m. Thursday morning, not long after many St. Lucians learned the news, Fletcher proposed a protocol to allow one member per family to be able to go out during certain strictly prescribed hours only if they absolutely had to, in order to purchase food and essential supplies in their respective community shop or bakery, while rigidly adhering to social distance protocols. The former broadcast minister further suggested the adaptation of a model like the BVI, for example, for this to be done according to the first letter of the family's last name, matched with a specific time period. And Henry Adams said, "Chaos was the law of nature, order was the dream of man." Miguel Fabry, NBC Prime.
Yeah, it's a very interesting capture by Miguel. I tell you, Miguel is a genius, you know. Miguel, I like the way you did that. Big up yourself for it, bro. All right, thank you very much, Miguel. And so we are moving on. So, folks, there are talks that this curfew may just be extended so that the authorities can continue their contact tracing, since now we have more cases. These are just speculations, but soon we will be hearing more about that. I guess by Monday we will know exactly where we go from here. My recommendation, if it matters, let's take another week, another 7 days, and you know, continue with the contact tracing, and then we take it from there, because there are a lot of persons who have been exposed. As we understand, one of the latest confirmed cases was a taxi driver. And if it's a taxi driver who came in contact with the driver to be infected, so many possibilities are real possibilities. Yeah, so the authorities say that many of the cases that they found was through their aggressive contact tracing. If I'm to interpret this correctly, even when people were not showing symptoms, they found people before the people found out that they've been exposed. All right, and if that's how effective the process is, hey, man, shut me down till December. No, I'm serious. We have to think more than just that selfish thought of my freedom and my time and my socialization and all that, because the picture that is out there, man, when you see bodies everywhere, their bodies, according to one report, rotting on the street in some parts of the world. I saw another video where this guy, well, this person was going through an area of just bodies, and one death is just one too many for us. Don't tell me that it is someone's fault that they have a pre-existing condition. And the way we are marketing this, the way we are putting it out there, is that you're wrong to have a pre-existing condition, so that's why you're going to die from the COVID-19. Only people with pre-existing conditions will die or is likely to die from the COVID-19, as if that's okay. Who doesn't have a pre-existing condition? Who doesn't? And a pre-existing condition, to say that's so broad. That is really broad. So to say that, or to imply that you're safe because you don't have a pre-existing condition. To me, that argument is rather disgusting. Yeah, to me it is. It's you understand? One life lost is one life too many. So here we are going to take this as serious as we need to and protect our grandmothers, protect our grandfathers, and protect every one of us. We are moving on. So there is this thing on social media now. I guess people are having fun with it. It has to do with an extempo challenge, it seems. And certain persons are challenging other people to sing a line or two about the COVID-19 on an extempo rhythm. No.
All right, everybody. I got challenged by...
This video is one of the best. It's breaking the internet. I mean, some of the top artists in the world have done. Some very talented people have done. But she here, with her talent and attitude towards the whole business and her swag, puts her on top. Terry Lyons.
London. So there we go. Hey, Daisy chorus, sing. Stay at home. Don't go on roam. Stay at home. I can't freestyle, so all you don't know that this song was written 10 minutes ago. But on a serious note about COVID-19, you have to wash your hands and practice proper hygiene. And with social distancing, will make corona subside. So please comply and keep your ass inside. Eat properly, drink plenty fluids, alkaline your body, and only leave your home for essentials only. Please dance. Yeah. Stay at home. Don't go on road. Stay at home. These are the people I challenge. I challenge Nadia, Bats, and the whole sass crew. Trinidad Killer, Grenade and Killer 2, Coaches Test, Iowa Ola 2G and the one Jesse, Gypsy Coco and the one Pretty. All soca artists and the Calypsonians too. And warrior extempo and send a message through. Hey, Daddy Super Blue, I ain't forgetting you. You have to jump on board, cause I call on you. Hey, stay at home. Don't go and roam. Stay at home. This is for her. I wish I could have freestyle and I'd do this longer. But I have to rehearse and put pen to paper. I just like them fellas who does do it all the time. You had to give me a while to write what's on my mind. All this year is very entertaining. But please don't forget the message I was singing. Don't make ignorance make you go out and roam, cause police waiting patiently to run you back home. Hey, stay at home. Don't go and roam. Stay at home. Hey. I want Heather McIntosh, Karina Shea, Shaq, Devon Seals.
Tell me she did well. Tell me she killed it right there. Tell me Terry killed it right there. And that's our entertainment piece for today. Terry Lyons. Terry, you's our boss girl. I want to call out Dash. I'm Terry a kid. Who else I calling out boy? I calling out Boise. Who else I calling? I calling Killer. I calling Mandela. I calling me boy Kariku. The whole Kariku crew. We're talking about people like Golden. You understand? I want my boy Slatter. I want to hear all you, boy. I want to hear all the Skinny Banter. I want to hear you too, boy, and the rhythm, boy. I want to hear all of you. I want to hear my artists and them. I want to see your creativity on the rhythm. I wonder if I saw a local on it, boy. I have not. I don't think I've seen a local on the thing, you know. Nah. But let me show them. They bad. Well, let me show them who bada. Who is the baddies. Yeah? So folks, that's our entertainment piece for today by Terry Lyons. I have a friend, Marja. Maybe I'll play Marja's own on Monday. And Marja? Yeah, man. So we go fix up. Alright, so I guess by Monday, we'll have more to play for you and see how them artists do. Alright? So I'm calling them out, and I want to see something from them. Let me see how bad all it is. All right, folks, so that's our entertainment piece for tonight. If you have not yet done so, please go ahead and share the program, yeah? Don't play selfish. We're coming back after this break. We've got the National Report.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand Anse, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
All right, thank you very much. All right. And folks, what we are going to do right now is present to you the National Report. And when we come back from that, we have for you the weather.
Two additional cases of COVID-19 confirmed in Grenada. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Friday, April 3rd, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada's Minister for Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele, has announced that Grenada has two additional laboratory-confirmed cases of COVID-19. Providing an update to the nation on Friday, the health minister said this brings the total confirmed cases of COVID-19 to 12, but there are only 11 cases here since one left.
The first new individual is a 73-year-old male who had arrived in Grenada from the United Kingdom with his wife, who is one of the previously tested positive for the virus. The couple had sat within the 6-foot radius of our first case on that March 16th UK flight. The husband became symptomatic on the 31st of March and was tested on April 1st. He has been quarantined since his wife was tested and is being monitored closely. The second individual is a 70-year-old male taxi driver who had interacted with a previously diagnosed case before that case was tested. He was found on March 27th through contact tracing by health officials and placed under quarantine. He started exhibiting symptoms consistent with those of COVID-19 and was subsequently tested on April 1st.
Minister Steele says healthcare officials continue to aggressively engage in contact tracing, especially of individuals who arrived in Grenada during the March 16th to 22nd period.
Both cases announced today are stable and exhibiting mild to moderate symptoms. However, I must add that 2 of our previously announced cases are now in the ICU, having developed complications from pneumonia. They are in stable condition, though. In terms of testing, 45 people in total have been tested. 12 people have tested positive to date, and there are 4 results pending.
Minister Steele also reminded the nation that any individual who attempts to or breaches the Quarantine Act will be forcibly quarantined in public facilities, which they have already secured around the Tri-Island state. He added that anyone who fails to comply is subject to a $10,000 fine and 6 months imprisonment, and this includes anyone who visits someone who is under quarantine. Superintendent of Police Vannie Kerwin says it is sad that Grenadians have not yet come to grips with the harsh reality of COVID-19. The government imposed a limited state of emergency that was later escalated to a mandatory curfew from March 30th to April 6th. Amidst all the police presence, roadblocks and public education, the daily arrest statistics for violating the curfew and social distancing protocol are increasing. Superintendent Kerwin emphasized that COVID-19 can affect anyone, irrespective of age and physique. He said we need to take the virus more seriously to avoid similar trends and measures that are being taken internationally.
I want to say this to the Grenadian people. This disease is not a joke. This is serious business. You don't have to believe me. Just turn your television on to any international station and look at what is happening for yourself. When we started, we heard that if you're young and if you're physically fit, your immune system is strong enough to be able to withstand the impact of these diseases. And we were told that the very aged and the very young are those who are more susceptible to this disease. But every day that passes, we see something different than we have told. We have seen deaths in the 20s, we have seen deaths in the 30s, we have seen deaths in the 40s and 50s. We have seen deaths from people who are sick. We have seen deaths from people who appear to be physically fit, and therefore we cannot rely on the fact that it affects the old and the young. As we are seeing now, it affects everybody. This disease is no respecter of persons. White, black, blue, green, fit, healthy, unfit, slim, obese. This disease will kill you if you do not take heed and pay attention.
Shops were opened for the final day of the week on Friday. Superintendent Kerwin said there is still no adherence to social distancing. He said if Grenadians keep going against the regulations, stricter measures may be implemented.
This morning was a limited shopping day, and what we have seen was really sickening. We understand the need and the desire for one to feed themselves and the family, but in light of that, we expected the 6 feet protocol, the 6 feet distancing protocol, social distancing protocol to be observed. We have seen people literally climb on the backs of others to get a few supplies. We have seen people clustered together, disregarding the advice to keep that distance. We have seen people in supermarket bunching together. And if we continue this kind of behavior, I am sure at some point, should this spread further, tougher, tighter measures might be expected.
He reiterated the importance of adhering to the guidelines and protocols.
The measures that are put in place is for your safety. Yes, I am sure everyone is concerned about your well-being. Everyone is concerned about the fact that you need to eat. Everyone is concerned about the fact that your garden needs to be tended to, your animals need that attention. But we have to prioritize what is important to us. Do we need the garden tomorrow if we do not have life today? We care about our children, as everybody have been saying. But if we do not take heed, we may not have children to attend to. They may not be here, and we may not be here. It is critically important for us to take seriously the measures that are put in place to safeguard our lives, the lives of our family, our loved ones, and Grenadians as a whole.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. The ECCB Monetary Council has approved a reduction in the bank's discount rate, which will make millions of dollars in short-term credit available to Grenada and other member states of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. That decision was made at Friday's ECCB Monetary Council meeting, which was chaired by Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell has been working steadfastly on refining the economic stimulus package announced in March and holding discussions with regional and international financial institutions as Grenada seeks to cope with the economic impact of the pandemic. A communique issued at the end of the meeting explained that the discount rate is one of the monetary policy tools the ECCB has at its disposal to influence credit conditions. This rate, set at 6.5% since 2003, refers to the interest rate the ECCB charges on loans to commercial banks and member governments. At Friday's meeting, the Monetary Council agreed to temporarily reduce the discount rate to 2% to provide what it terms low-cost, short-term credit. The decision comes against the backdrop of the bank's recognition of the far-reaching health, economic, fiscal, and financial implications of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in the context of the limited fiscal space of ECCB member countries. The Monetary Council also noted the increased credit allocation recently approved by the board. The decision makes an additional $138.1 million available to member governments. Dr. Mitchell has welcomed the Monetary Council's decision, saying, and I quote, "It represents a vital step in helping to ensuring the economic survival of Grenada and other ECCU member countries. The COVID-19 crisis has created a serious challenge not just for our health sectors, but for our already fragile economies. Grenada welcomes this move, and as chairman of the Monetary Council, I feel honored to be at the helm at a time when we are faced with making such widely impacted decisions." Unquote. Friday's meeting of the ECCB Monetary Council included the governor's report on monetary and credit conditions in the ECCU. Finally, in the news, the Royal Grenada Police Force has made it possible for distributors to supply shops throughout the island. Head of the Community Relations Department of the RGPF, Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, during a police press briefing on April 3rd, stated that the scheduled opening hours for restocking will be for that purpose only.
Supply chains will be allowed to operate between 1 and 5, restocking those shops and supermarkets, but will not be open for the public, will not be open to the public for sales. However, the Royal Grenada Police Force advises that the major supermarkets, namely Foodland, Food Fair, Real Value, and CK Super Value, will remain closed.
The general public is advised to keep the regulations of the Emergency Powers COVID-19 regulations. Shoppers will not be allowed to shop outside of their parishes.
The one person per household rule is still in effect in keeping with Regulation 12 of the regulation. The restriction on travel across parish boundaries are also in effect in keeping with Regulation 12 as well. So notwithstanding the fact that the MNIB and some grocery and supermarket chains will be open, the restriction on travel between parishes remains in force. It therefore means that somebody from St. David's will not be allowed to traverse the boundaries into St. George's for the purpose of shopping.
That story just ended the national report for today, Friday, April 3rd. Let's recap the top story. 2 additional cases of COVID-19 confirmed in Grenada. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you very much. And of course, there we are with the national report. And I want to say hello to all the people who are in New York and so on. Listen, even when we read of the stories about the situation that's happening in places like New York and so on, I don't know, man. One of my friends called me and said to me, Mikey, you know what? I wanted to let you know that I was diagnosed with the COVID-19. I'm like, whoa, bro. You know what I mean? So our own people that we know, our friends and so on, are all being affected by this thing. You know, guys, we may say that it may never happen to us, and it may cause us at some point in time to drop our guards. Please don't. Because the moment you drop your guard, that's when you know, things can really happen. If you hear some of the stories that's out there, that's what they're saying. Just the moment when you drop your guard, that's it. The weather, generally fair with occasional partly cloudy spells. The maximum temperature for today was 30.5 degrees Celsius, and minimum 23.5 degrees Celsius. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate, waves 2 to 5 feet in open waters. All right, and so that's all weather for tonight. Tonight is Friday, right? All right, that's the weather for Friday. All right, folks, we have a little moonlight outside, you know, but we can't go outside and things like that, so we have to stay inside. We have to stay indoors. Okay, let me just quickly take a look at some of the people who are in here. Let's see. Kireen, Shireen, Lisa, Lyndon, Hazel, Oniki. Hey, Oniki, what's going on, bro? Frontline Baba, Shireen, Suzette, Doris, Casilda, Ventress. Who else we have with us? Noreen, Kathy, Lisa, Camille. Who else is with us? Who else is there? Come on, come on. Zaka is with us as well. Big up to yourself, Zaka. Yeah? Angel, Lyndon, and everyone else. Jose is with us as well, and Jane is with us. So big up yourself, Jane, and all the regular people. All right, the usual suspects. What time it is now? Chad, no. Yes, Mishi, big up, and everyone else, man. Angel, I see that you're there, and the whole family. Thank you for watching. We're gonna have another program for you on Monday, or if there's any other reason for us to come before that, we'll be here with you. All right, guys, God bless you. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We all say, oh, I have to say hi to my sister Lintona and my mom, and Marilyn and Louisa and Meryl and Zilon and Mr. McQueen and Pierre. All right, we have Pierre as well. Who we have? Rose and Peter. Joyous, where we all come out. Noreen, where we all come out. And Michael. All right, Marilyn, Shum, where we all come out. Della, Rayburn, Kireen, we all come out. All right, blessings anyway. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Goodbye.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
Feel good facts.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Feel good facts.
Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.